In a remote corner of the world, nestled deep within an ancient forest, lay a village that time seemed to have forgotten. The trees towered above like ancient sentinels, their branches interwoven to form an impenetrable canopy that blocked out the sunlight. The air was thick with an eerie stillness, and the only sounds that broke the silence were the rustling leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. The village of Eldridge had a history shrouded in mystery and whispered tales of the supernatural. Its origin was lost to time, and the villagers, a small and reclusive community, rarely spoke of the past. Those who dared to venture into the woods often spoke of strange occurrences, whispers in the wind, fleeting shadows, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that seemed to dance among the trees, a group of curious outsiders arrived in Eldridge. Drawn by the allure of the unknown and fueled by a sense of adventure, they sought refuge in the village for the night. The villagers eyed them with a mix of suspicion and fear but offered them shelter nonetheless. The newcomers settled into an old inn, its time-worn facade telling tales of bygone eras. The innkeeper, a haggard man with haunted eyes, warned them of the woods and its secrets. Once the sun sets, do not venture beyond the village boundaries, he cautioned, his voice barely more than a whisper. The woods are not what they seem. As night descended, the village seemed to come alive with the murmur of unseen spirits. The outsiders gathered in the inn's common room, swapping stories and nervous laughter in an attempt to dispel the unease that hung in the air. The flickering candlelight cast shadows on the walls, and every creak of the ancient building seemed like a heartbeat echoing through the night. Unable to resist the allure of the mysterious woods, a daring few decided to embark on a moonlit expedition. Armed with flashlights and a sense of trepidation, they crossed the village threshold and entered the haunting embrace of the ancient forest. As they delved deeper into the woods, the air grew colder, and the trees closed in around them like silent sentinels. Strange symbols adorned the tree trunks, illuminated by an otherworldly glow. Whispers filled the air, a chorus of spectral voices that spoke of ancient curses and vengeful spirits. The group stumbled upon an ancient clearing bathed in an ethereal light. In the center stood an ancient oak, its gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like skeletal fingers. A feeling of dread settled over them as they realized they were not alone. Shadows danced around the clearing, coalescing into ghostly figures with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce the very fabric of their souls. A voice echoed through the clearing, a lamentation of sorrow and anguish. The figures converged, their ghostly forms intertwining in a macabre dance. The air became thick with an oppressive energy, and the intruders felt an invisible force pulling at their very essence. Terrified, they tried to flee, but the forest seemed to shift around them, disorienting their senses. The once familiar path became a maze of twisting shadows and phantom echoes. The haunting voices grew louder, each step heavier than the last, as if the very earth resisted their escape. The night seemed to stretch into eternity, and the outsiders, weary and disoriented, found themselves back at the ancient oak. The ghostly figures closed in, their mournful wails drowning out the desperate pleas of the intruders. The air crackled with malevolence as the spirits exacted a price for trespassing on sacred ground. As dawn broke, the villagers discovered the outsiders' lifeless bodies, their faces frozen in terror. The innkeeper, his eyes now devoid of any trace of humanity, solemnly led the villagers in a ritual to appease the ancient spirits. The forest, once again cloaked in an impenetrable shroud of mystery, reclaimed its secrets, leaving the village of Eldridge to stand as a haunting reminder of the perils that lurked within the woods. And so, the village in the woods remained frozen in time, a place where the living dared not tread, and the echoes of that fateful night lingered in the wind like a ghostly lament. The ancient forest stood as a silent guardian, its secrets buried deep within the roots of the gnarled trees, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to venture into its embrace. Years passed, and the village of Eldridge became a forsaken outpost, a place avoided by those who heard the whispers of its cursed history. The inn, now dilapidated and overgrown with vines, stood as a silent witness to the tragedy that had befallen the outsiders. The villagers lived in perpetual fear, their eyes haunted by the memory of that dreadful night. Rumors of the cursed village spread, reaching the ears of a daring journalist named Amelia who was drawn to tales of the supernatural. Intrigued by the mystery surrounding Eldridge, she embarked on a journey to uncover the truth. Armed with determination and skepticism, Amelia arrived at the edge of the foreboding forest, where the village stood as a ghostly silhouette against the backdrop of towering trees. The remaining villagers regarded her with a mix of wariness and resignation, offering vague warnings about the woods and the spirits that dwelled within. Undeterred, Amelia delved into the village's history, poring over dusty archives and interviewing the few remaining elders who dared to speak of the past. As night fell, she wandered through the abandoned streets, her flashlight cutting through the suffocating darkness. The village seemed frozen in time, its eerie silence broken only by the distant hooting of owls and the rustle of unseen creatures in the underbrush. Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes watched her every move. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, Amelia approached the inn. The creaking door swung open with a reluctant groan, revealing a desolate interior frozen in a state of decay. The air was thick with the scent of mildew, and the floorboards groaned under the weight of the journalist's footsteps. As she explored the inn, Amelia discovered old journals and tattered manuscripts hidden away in forgotten corners. The writings spoke of ancient rituals, a pact with spectral entities, and the consequences of disturbing the equilibrium of the forest. The journalist's skepticism waned as the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, weaving a narrative of dark magic and a village condemned by its own actions. Determined to uncover the truth, Amelia decided to venture into the woods, guided by the cryptic symbols that marked the village boundary. The forest welcomed her with an oppressive embrace, the twisted branches forming a labyrinth that seemed to shift with each step. Strange whispers filled the air, mingling with the mournful cries of unseen spirits. Amelia stumbled upon the ancient clearing, where the spectral figures awaited her presence. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy as the ghosts materialized, their hollow eyes fixated on the intruder. They spoke in a chorus of voices, recounting tales of betrayal, anguish, and a village forever bound to the supernatural forces that dwelled within the woods. As the spirits closed in, a realization dawned upon Amelia: the village's fate was inexorably linked to the ancient oak and the spirits that guarded it. The ghosts' anguish echoed through the clearing, their ethereal forms twisting and contorting in a dance of despair. In a desperate bid to break the curse, Amelia sought to uncover the source of the spirits' suffering. Through a series of chilling revelations, she discovered the dark secrets buried within the village's past, a betrayal that had condemned the entire community to an eternity of torment. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Amelia confronted the spirits, pleading for mercy and understanding. The ancient oak, once a symbol of malevolence, seemed to shudder as if acknowledging her words. The spirits wavered, their spectral forms flickering like fading embers. As dawn approached, the forest released its grip on Amelia. The spirits, their mournful cries fading into the distance, retreated into the depths of the woods. The ancient oak stood as a silent witness to the journalist's ordeal, its gnarled branches reaching towards the first light of day. Eldridge, though still tainted by its haunted history, began to show signs of life. The villagers, released from the suffocating grip of the supernatural, cautiously emerged from their homes. The curse that had plagued Eldridge for generations seemed to lift, and the forest, though still mysterious, no longer exuded an air of malevolence. Amelia, forever changed by her harrowing experience, left Eldridge behind. The village returned to a semblance of normalcy, its secrets buried beneath layers of time and overgrown foliage. The once cursed inn, now devoid of its spectral presence, stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of supernatural adversity. And so, the village in the woods endured, its haunted past fading into the mists of memory. The ancient forest, still cloaked in an aura of mystery, awaited the next curious soul to brave its depths, unknowingly stepping into the delicate balance between the natural and the supernatural. Years passed, and Eldridge, once a forsaken village trapped in the clutches of the supernatural, began to fade from the memories of the world. Nature, relentless in its reclamation, slowly engulfed the remnants of the village, obscuring the scars of its haunted past. One summer, a group of friends seeking adventure stumbled upon the forgotten tales of Eldridge. Drawn by the allure of mystery and the thrill of the unknown, they set out on a journey to uncover the secrets hidden within the ancient woods. The outside world knew little of the village's cursed history, and the group approached Eldridge with a sense of excitement, unaware of the perils that awaited them. As the friends ventured deeper into the forest, the air became charged with an eerie energy. The trees, whispering ancient secrets, seemed to guide them toward the heart of Eldridge. The village, once shrouded in darkness, now bathed in dappled sunlight filtering through the thick canopy. The ruins of the inn stood as a silent sentinel, a testament to the passage of time. Undeterred by the warnings that had long been forgotten, the friends decided to make the inn their base for the night. The air inside was stale, and the floor creaked under their footsteps, echoing the ghostly whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls. They laughed off the unease, dismissing it as a byproduct of an overactive imagination. As night fell, the friends gathered in the common room, sharing stories and laughter that echoed through the empty halls. The inn, however, seemed to respond with its own tales, creaks and groans that mirrored the sorrowful echoes of the past. Unbeknownst to the friends, the village was awakening, its spectral inhabitants stirred by the presence of intruders. Curiosity led the group beyond the village boundaries and into the heart of the ancient forest. Guided by an invisible force, they discovered the same clearing where the previous events had unfolded. The ancient oak, now standing in a pool of moonlight, cast eerie shadows that danced across the ground. As the friends explored the clearing, the air grew colder, and the whispers of the spirits became palpable. Shadows flitted between the trees, taking form as ghostly figures that circled the intruders. The temperature plummeted, and a spectral voice reverberated through the clearing, recounting the tragic history of Eldridge. Realizing the danger too late, the friends attempted to retreat, but the forest seemed to close in around them. The ghostly figures advanced, their mournful wails drowning out the panicked cries of the intruders. The ancient oak radiated with an otherworldly glow, as if absorbing the despair that permeated the clearing. In a desperate bid for survival, the friends sought to appease the spirits. They apologized for their unwitting intrusion, promising to carry the tales of Eldridge into the outside world, ensuring that the village would not be forgotten. The ghosts hesitated, their ethereal forms flickering with uncertainty. As dawn approached, the forest released its grip, and the friends found themselves on the outskirts of Eldridge, disoriented but alive. The ancient oak, no longer a harbinger of doom, stood as a silent witness to their pledge. The village, its haunted history now etched in the memories of the living, began to fade into the background once again. The friends, forever changed by their brush with the supernatural, left Eldridge behind, carrying with them the weight of an experience that transcended the realms of the natural. The village, though still veiled in mystery, stood as a testament to the delicate balance between the seen and the unseen, a place where the boundaries between the living and the spectral intertwined like the roots of the ancient trees. And so, Eldridge endured, its secrets preserved in the shadows, waiting for the next curious souls to weave their destinies into the fabric of its haunted history. Story 2. In the heart of the Scottish Highlands, where mist-clad mountains stood sentinel over ancient lochs and untamed wilderness, there lay a village steeped in folklore and shadowed by a curse that lingered like the morning fog. This village, known as Dunhaven, was nestled in a valley guarded by rugged peaks and shrouded in an air of mystique that had kept outsiders at bay for generations. Emma, an adventurous historian with a passion for uncovering forgotten tales, stumbled upon cryptic references to Dunhaven in a tattered journal dating back to the 19th century. Intrigued by the hints of a supernatural presence and the mention of a hidden artifact, she embarked on a journey to unravel the mysteries concealed within the mist-laden village. As Emma traversed the winding roads that led to Dunhaven, the air grew thick with an otherworldly energy. The locals, though hospitable, spoke in hushed tones and exchanged knowing glances as she passed. The innkeeper, an elderly man with weathered features, warned her of the ancient curse that had gripped the village for centuries. Undeterred, Emma delved into the village's history, poring over dusty manuscripts and listening to the whispered stories of the elderly residents. Tales of spectral figures, ethereal voices, and a haunted artifact known as the Whispering Stone permeated the air. It was said that the stone held the key to the curse, but none dared to seek it. As night fell, Emma ventured into the village graveyard, where moss-covered tombstones stood as silent sentinels. The wind whispered through the gnarled branches, and the moonlight cast eerie shadows on the ancient stones. Unearthly whispers seemed to beckon her toward a mausoleum at the far end. Inside, Emma discovered a hidden chamber adorned with symbols that seemed to dance in the flickering candlelight. At the center of the room lay the Whispering Stone, a mysterious artifact emitting a soft, pulsating glow. As she approached, the air grew heavy with a presence that transcended the natural realm. The stone spoke to Emma, its whispers revealing the tragic tale of a forbidden love and a vengeful spirit that had cursed the village. Bound by a promise made in despair, the spirit sought redemption through the actions of a brave soul willing to face the shadows that lurked within Dunhaven. Driven by a sense of duty and compassion, Emma embarked on a quest to lift the curse. Guided by the cryptic messages of the Whispering Stone, she unraveled a series of rituals and tasks that would appease the vengeful spirit and break the shackles that bound Dunhaven. Each step brought her closer to the heart of the curse, and the village seemed to come alive with a spectral energy. Shadows danced in the corners of Emma's vision, and ghostly apparitions appeared as if to test her resolve. Whispers filled the air, some encouraging and others taunting, as she pressed forward. In a climactic encounter within the ruins of an ancient castle, Emma confronted the vengeful spirit. The air crackled with tension as the spirit recounted its tale of betrayal and anguish. Emma, armed with newfound knowledge and empathy, offered a heartfelt plea for forgiveness and redemption. As dawn broke over the highland landscape, a profound stillness settled over Dunhaven. The mist lifted, revealing a village transformed by the breaking of the curse. The once haunted streets now echoed with the sounds of life, and the villagers emerged from their homes with expressions of gratitude. Emma, having fulfilled her role as the catalyst for change, bid farewell to Dunhaven. The Whispering Stone, its glow now faint, remained in the village as a silent witness to the trials and triumphs that had unfolded within its mystical embrace. And so, with the mists of the Scottish Highlands enveloping Dunhaven in a protective cloak, the village stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of redemption. The ancient stones and moss-covered tombs held the echoes of a once-cursed past, but the winds that whispered through the valley carried a new tale, a tale of renewal and a village reborn from the shadows.